Hello and welcome to the Store Central postgame show. This is Amon Kidwai. I'm with Graham Chamberlain. I'm in the Store Central studios in Hartford. As you can see, Graham is at the JMA Dome in Syracuse. Graham, the Huskies just lost 31-24 to the Orange. Your thoughts following the game?
Well, they certainly didn't follow our advice last night, right? We said to keep the offense on the field for a long time, get long sustained drives, hold Syracuse to field goals because we knew they were going to get yards. I didn't think the 470 Kyle McCord got. I didn't think 400 was out of the realm of possibility. But nevertheless, they lost by 7. They covered the spread for those who care about such things. And you never really had the sense that they were going away, which I think is huge. I think back to the last time these two teams played in 2022 at Rentschler. Certainly a much different UConn team, right? Zion Turner was starting at quarterback. They had Brian Bruton with a banged up elbow at running back. I think Devontae Houston ended up in that game. No receivers really outside of Kevin Clercius. They lost 48-14, and you really felt like UConn was so far away from where Syracuse was at that point. Fast forward 2 years later, and they're not super far off. The tackling wasn't the best today, but you're playing a P14 in a passing game that, frankly, nobody else has stopped.
Just little minute details, when playing in coverage, that I feel like we had to, clean up. But, I trust our DBs, I trust the guys in our room, it just comes down, to making the play and winning one-on-one. They kind of
the best pass defense against Syracuse this year has been Virginia Tech, and now it's 280 passing yards. So it's a little unfair to think that UConn was going to be able to stop this when nobody else has, but big shout out to them for staying in the game. That was the first thing Coach Morris said in his post game. He's just like, we fought and I'm really proud of our guys. And a lot of times coaches say that and you're kind of like, well, yeah, but you lost. And this time I was like, they really did fight. That game could have gone a myriad of ways. Like, it could have gone off the rails so badly, and it didn't.
I'm proud of our team for the way they fought. Tough environment, outstanding team. Fran's done a great job with Syracuse. They're big, they're fast, they're physical. Their quarterback is an NFL quarterback. He's certainly the best quarterback we've faced since I've been at UConn. They got big receivers, but our guys fight.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if you look at the stats, after the first quarter, UConn's being outgained 216-86. It's tied 7-7 though.
Without Cam Edwards, and without that Cam Edwards run, that's 15.
Exactly. So. And yeah, Syracuse misses a field goal early, which was really helpful, but otherwise the defense really kind of clamped down for UConn in the third quarter to keep that game close. And in the first half, it was really just making it happen. But I will say the offense was really stagnant in that first part, throughout the first half. That's what gets Syracuse ahead by 2 touchdowns. Really, I mean, like you're saying, credit to Syracuse. They got their touchdown on the board in 2 plays from scrimmage on that first touchdown. Then their next 2 touchdowns, long sustained drives. I mean, again, you see it coming. They were gaining and gaining yards. That field goal missed. They drove 50-plus yards down the field for that one. So, yeah, I mean, you got to hand it to Syracuse. They were moving it. They were exploiting their advantages and doing that effectively, counting on their best guys.
I mean, it shows you that our offense, though, and what Jeff Nixon does is gives us an opportunity to spread it around where everybody have a chance to, touch the ball.
538 yards of overall offense. It's going to be one of those things where the final score is closer than the game was for sure. Even, late in the fourth quarter, this is a 2-touchdown game. UConn gets that touchdown with 1:30 left. You need an onside kick. Long drive for the touchdown, not enough. Kind of like Temple's touchdown late against UConn a few weeks ago. But good job competing by UConn. Competitive loss, asserted itself well. Hopefully they have some confidence going through the balance of the. And do you think everyone's healthy after this? I saw, we saw Skylar Bell take some hits. And what's the stat? What's kind of the future there?
Yeah, coach said it was, there were several factors that went into it, and really it was just they felt that, with Nick being banged up again, they decided to go with Joe. And, coach said, we've seen a lot of good things out of Joe. This is obviously a different type of scenario for him, as he really only started and finished Merrimack and Temple, right? So he's been coming off the bench and has been absolutely fantastic, like we said last night. Coming off the bench, but it's a different beast when you're starting the game, and I don't know how much that status changes next week.
Joe was like the rest of us. We were all inconsistent, and in order to beat a team like that, we've got to be consistent. And we just made a decision based on a lot of things as to why Joe was the starter. Nick coming off of another injury. He's had one of those years where he's been dinged up a lot. Joe's done some really, really good things for us when we put him in those situations, whether it was a start or in a game where he's had to come in and play. And it just felt like that was the best decision for today's game. It means nothing going forward.
Heading into the UMass game, I guess he won't tell us or won't tell anybody, so we'll find out next Saturday at noon again. But it wouldn't surprise me also if they go back to Evers if he's feeling healthy. But I think they feel like that Joe has earned it, and he's earned the trust of his teammates, which I think is fair. And that's that. Brady Wayburn was out today. So Carson Cassidy slid over to right guard. Wes Hoey at center, even though he wasn't 100%, coach said. Still bothered by an ankle, which is always tricky to shake. But he decided to give it a go since, he's a former Syracuse player. He wanted to get in there. No major injuries today, it looked like. Which is fantastic. Bell took a big hit at the end, but I think he'll be all right. And, they should be heading into next week at UMass healthy-ish, facing a UMass team that's kind of feeling a little rejuvenated under interim coach. Before he went down for media, it looked like they were making some plays against Georgia. So it's not going to be easy.
They're gonna lose to Georgia, and I think for UConn, regardless of who starts at QB, you got to like UConn's chances to beat UMass. That is not dependent on who's the quarterback there. It's going to be interesting, though. With no other additional knowledge, it seems like Fagnano is the guy who gives them the best chance to win. They might want to just, as they try and close out the season strong, 2 more wins would still mean a ton to UConn to get to 8 and 9 wins, if that is something that's possible in the bowl game. So that's what they're playing for in the balance of the season, to continue to stretch that, that mark of best UConn season since 2011, and just see how far they can take it. But Graham, any final thoughts from the Carrier Dome? This was your first time there. Now the JMA Dome. Your thoughts on the venue? UConn will be back there in a few years. So
yeah, it was a nice place to watch a game. Very appreciative that the media viewing is pretty much like in the suite level, kind of in between over my shoulder, kind of in between the upper and lower decks. So that was cool. Great atmosphere. There's some empty seats, but it was loud at a lot of points, and that really fun place to come catch a game. They renovated. It's nice. It didn't smell. I've had multiple people ask me if it smelled. It doesn't. So
okay, that's new. We've got a renovated dome.
JMA Dome. Start the marketing campaign.
Yeah. It doesn't smell. The JMA Dome. It doesn't smell. That's not bad. Well, hey, look, maybe UConn will be playing some competitive games there in the future. Good, solid outing decent outing for the Huskies. Not the result they wanted.
Yeah.
But hey, they persevere. 7-4 heading into the final game of the regular season at UMass. That'll be a noon kickoff next week from McGuirk Stadium. We'll have Graham there, I'm sure, for that one. And hopefully, again, fingers crossed, we will all see you in Boca to close this thing out. That's going to do it for us. Thank you all for watching.